Gotcha.
Recording. Okay.
So, yeah, okay.
Okay. 5 people, middle.
Harlan. Nancy who? Nancy Best. Nancy Nickel.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm glad everyone else is a few seconds late because I had disconnected my modem by
Oh, dear.
mistake. So we were waiting to boot back up again.
Oh,
And Jane Ann.
No wonder.
Oh, no.
happy birthday, Nancy Best.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Nancy.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy
It's my birthday, so number 76.
Oh my God.
Whoa, you caught up with.
So does that mean 76 bottles of wine today?
I think that.
Well, haven't had any yet, but
Darn.
The day is young.
The day is young.
the day is young and it's been a good day and it's going to be a better day too.
Here, Nancy, here, have a sip of this Bitburger German beer here. Go ahead.
Okay. Whoa, that's good.
Let's see. Who am I missing here?
Christy will not be here today.
Yeah, Carol.
Happy Hanukkah, Harvey.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate
they are.
Happy vaccines on coming on.
It's coming. Yeah.
It's one good thing
On
about
the
being
way.
old, we'll be one of the first in line.
Me too. I want to be.
Aren't we happy we're old?
Yeah, right.
Aren't we happy we're old? Is that what you said?
Oh, really?
Yeah, we fit in one of the top categories.
Might be one of the few things we get.
That's right.
True.
Yeah,
Very-
now that they said that they're having allergic reactions, it's like, that's probably gonna be me.
There's Carol Gaydosh.
Carol Gaydosh is here.
Hey,
Yay.
no.
Carol.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
Great. Happy birthday, Nancy.
Thank you, Carol.
It's good to be here.
Yes, it is.
You finally got
Nice
it
to see
figured
you.
out. Carol?
Yeah, I finally stayed home.
Okay.
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
Well, it's a
Oh, that was
rainy
the
day,
answer.
isn't it? Rainy and cold, so what the heck? It's a good day.
No,
Yeah.
it's sunny here. Very beautiful.
yeah?
Kidding.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
beautiful
no,
day.
it's rainy and cold here.
Yes.
Wow.
It
Yes,
rained this morning, but it's nice now.
Well, it must be going to be rainy here.
Too.
We get Susie's weather shortly, in
Yeah.
about an hour.
It's your fault, Susie.
Yeah,
It's my,
Right.
Yeah, it's your fault, Susie.
I'm doing great, except I can't get everybody on the screen. I get a big Jane Ann and Tommy, but I get all the little ones at the top.
Are you on a computer, Carol?
Yes, well, yeah, a laptop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go up to view on the right.
So-
But that's okay, is 2 for,
look on the right, Carol. Carol, there's the thing that says gallery view on the right.
okay, on the right.
Click
gallery
it
view.
and then say, it says full.
Full screen.
Okay, let me see here. Gallery view.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Hey, guys.
Hi,
Bob.
Bob.
You're back in your home.
What's that?
You're back in your home room. Your room at,
I'm back in
At
my
your home.
home room. Yeah.
In your room at home
right.
When you say
How are you
homeroom, that
feeling,
reminds me
Bob?
of high school.
of high school.
Yeah, right.
Back in the homeroom.
Crazy.
You're out of the red zone, right, Bob? You're out of the red zone.
Yes.
I am
Yeah.
TK.
Oh, good.
TK, did you get word about Dick Houston?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we're really sad.
Sad. Very sad.
Oh, boy, yeah, tragic.
Does anyone know what happened?
Yeah, does anyone?
Yeah, generally. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Bob.
same way
Yeah,
time just
tell
fine.
us, please.
Go ahead, Bob. What you know, I talked with Rick.
Well, he
Buck.
had a series of, he'd had a series of operations. And then, as you are well aware, he had several strokes in relationship to
You
that.
see?
Right.
His wife broke her back. She's a little bit dementia now, Donna, and she came home with COVID. And I think the COVID might be what got him at the end.
Oh,
Oh, my
oh,
word.
no.
My source was Jim Weatherby, TK, from, and they were good
Yeah.
friends from way back
Right.
on South 15th Street.
Right, right.
And
Wow.
Jim got a hold of me through Sam, his brother.
And did
Wow.
Jim move eventually to Indianapolis, and did he live fairly close to Donna and Huey?
Yeah. And they had just moved in with their daughters, I recall, TK.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And at the end, he was in a coma. We don't know. I assume that was related.
That was
to-
correct. Yeah. TK, I got word that Sam Weatherby called me about 3:00. That's, was that Friday afternoon? And said that he had gone into a coma and may not make it out. And about 5:30, I got a call back that Jim had just got a hold of Sam and Dick had passed away about 5:30 or 5:40 yesterday afternoon.
Wow.
But yeah, he was in a coma at the end. Yeah.
I think Birdman talked to him maybe a week ago or so.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when. And Huey had some problems.
Yeah.
I think he was referring to the virus, but that the last several days prior to the phone call, he had been improved and felt, better about his chance.
Yeah.
But then after that, I guess I've read this kind of thing about COVID, where people think they're doing all right, and then boom, and within a few days, they're not here anymore. So
Guys, he had called me one Sunday after we chatted on our Zoom call. And phone rang about 2:00 and it was Dick. We talked for an hour and a half.
wow,
And he had pretty well resigned himself to what was going on with having to move and all that stuff.
yeah,
And said that Donna was not good. She had broken her back or something in a fall
that's what
and
Bird
then
said.
contracted COVID. But it was really a bad situation at the end. We have laughed and cried telling stories about that for the last
Yeah.
few days, I tell you.
Hmm.
So sad.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
One of the classic stories, guys, on a lighter note.
Yeah,
We took off from Richmond with 5 guys in a car to go to Oxford. Have a few beers, probably sophomores in college.
have a few beers. That sounds familiar.
So we get back to Boston
Yeah,
at the 4A stop in Boston, and we have a little head count. There's only 4 of us in the car.
I think I've heard.
We had decided then that Dick was missing. So we stopped to take a leak on 9 Mile Road. And we all go back to 9 Mile in the approximate area where we were and shine the headlights down the ditch. And there was Dick laying there in the ditch, passed out.
Oh, my.
Oh, my word.
Another great story, and you guys may not remember, but Rick Jordan and Dick lived together. Rick was going to medical school, and Dick actually went to dental school the first year out of DePaul. So we were at the 500, and they were living in a complex up on 38th and Georgetown Road.
This was
Called
the
1, 2, 3, and 4.
this was the real 500, not the bicycle little
Oh, this is
500.
real 500, TK, yeah.
Real 500.
So we are in we're a day ahead of time as always. And we're laying around the pool. Everybody's having a few beers. A big buddy of mine from St. Edward's High School in Cleveland has got an abscessed tooth. And he says, does anybody know anybody can fix this SOB?
Oh, dear, no.
Well, I've got a buddy up here in the apartment that I'm staying with that's in dental school, but I don't know what he can do for you, Tom.
He's fully qualified. No. Yeah, right.
The funniest part of this whole thing,
You can pull too.
we have a little starter set about that big that they worked on model teeth with. Had a little drill and a couple of bits in it, and you could etch the teeth and all that kind of stuff. So we go up there, and Tom was a pretty brutal, mean guy. He says, fix this. I said, hey, man, I can't fix that. I'm a first year dental student and that's all I've got. He said, fix this. So he takes out a little drill bit
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
and this thing is swollen. Honestly, guys, it's swollen out here size of a
Mm.
softball in his mouth. And that thing pops.
Oh,
I mean, it just gushes everywhere.
Oh,
And Dick very patiently cleans him up, puts a couple stitches in him. 15 minutes later, back down by the pool drinking.
oh, my
Wow.
But Dick was white as a sheet. Got it. Crazy.
is that why you left dental school?
That may have been Tom, yeah.
Good story, Bob.
That is a great
Yeah,
story.
We'd all met like always, had at little
Story.
ballparks and stuff. And ran around from schoolyard to schoolyard and just had a great time growing up.
My one Huey story is, so I think it was Rick Jordan and Huey were in the same class, obviously in high school. And I think they went, is this right, Judy? They went to DePaul as well?
They did.
Yeah.
They were in
And
the
they-
same fraternity.
Roommates, yeah.
Mention that. And so they were there 3 years and then they, some kind of a program where you were 3 years as an undergrad and then you transferred to IUPUI, yeah,
Right.
medical school. So it was that first year in medical school and I was still in the Army, but I was at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, doing nothing, just
Off duty.
serving my country well. But the reason why I was still in, because you could get out 90 days early. And I applied for that. They didn't let me out. Why? To go back to school. They said, well, we're having, this was the spring of '67. So there was a lot of anti-war action. There were riots all over America. And Fort Belvoir is just south of DC, rioting in DC. Fortunately, I never had to go, fight the Viet Cong first and then fight my own fellow citizens, Anyway, in those days, you could get on a plane as a military standby for whatever, $20 maybe. So Bob invited Huey and me down to IU for whatever, good times, I guess. And there probably were a few beers, actually, were a lot of beers. I don't remember anything except Huey and I left whatever hour, probably 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning. My head was out the passenger's window. Yes, barfing. I put a coating down the right side of his car repeatedly. And Huey somehow found his apartment. He had picked me up at the airport earlier that day. So I was just following him, probably crawling. I don't know. But so Huey gets the key out to his room, his apartment, and it wasn't working. He couldn't get it in. He fooled with it probably for 10 minutes.
2 in the morning or 3 in the morning.
Yeah. And finally, this guy rips the door open. Said, "What the F are you guys doing?" Huey we had the wrong damn floor. These days, he probably would have had a gun and shoot it right there.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Oh,
so you and I laughed about that the next
yeah,
day.
Tom, that's great.
It's actually stupid. Both of us acting like that. We survived it. Anyway, that's my Huey story.
Who else had? I've got one, but I can't remember if I've told this one to you guys or if I was telling this to John Bryant. Did I tell you the story about him sharing his bicycle on his paper route?
Yes.
Okay, that one. Okay. All right. Who else has got one? Anybody? I've got, I can read you a, did Rick Jordan send this email to everyone or just to me?
No.
We
I didn't get it.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. That came to Bob and Sini and
Yeah.
off. So I can read this. He said, I could not be sadder. Dick was my best friend since high school.
Yeah.
We were roommates in college at DePaul and IU Medical School. Like all of you, teammates in football, track, and Pony League baseball. 4 or 5 years ago, we had a great 2 or 3 days together in Albuquerque with Mari, my wife, Dick and Donna, and had planned to get together again as soon as COVID allowed reasonably safe travel. We knew we wouldn't have many more chances. Donna will be struggling greatly with her developing memory issues. Dick told me just recently he was going to have to take care of her for a change since she had been taking care of him after a stroke. I don't have any information regarding the cause of his coma. I know we are all tearing up just now and have the same horrible feeling in the pits of our stomach. Rick Jordan. So that was Rick. And then Rick Putoff says, my heart is broken with Dick's passing. We two were friends from junior high at Hibbard through RHS and beyond. Not quite as close as Dick and Rick Jordan, but he and Donna were great friends of Sherry and me. We will never forget his quick wit, wonderful smile, and his self-deprecating sense of humor. Another loved friend leaves us for his just rewards. Rest in peace, old friend Rick. So those are two things that were sent along. I had, let's see, I think I told you guys that he had gotten pancreatitis. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
That was his surgeries, I think. We had two.
Well, that was prostatitis. He had prostate cancer, but then I don't know how many of you knew he also had pretty serious diabetes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Didn't know that.
And the thing that caused the pancreatitis was some kind of new deal he was on where he only had to get 1 shot a week for his diabetes. And then when he got sick, they took him to the hospital and finally diagnosed him with pancreatitis. They told him that was a major side effect, which then they had not told him that.
Yeah, they didn't tell him that could happen.
So I didn't get a chance to talk to him after that to find out, okay, so what did you do then? Did you go back to giving yourself shots every day with, insulin or what? But Bob, when I talked to Rick Putoff, he had talked to Jim Weatherby, and Jim said that it all started when he had visited Donna, wherever Donna was in the hospital or something.
Donna was about 5 rooms down from him on a different floor, I think.
Oh.
It's the way Sam described it to me. They weren't on the same floor.
Yeah.
For her
She was
back.
either right above or right below him, about 5 rooms one way or the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Tom, I think from what Sam said yesterday, they had chatted briefly. Donna had no real recognition who he was.
Wow.
They had chatted briefly before he passed away.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the dementia is like a rapid onset, and they can't figure out why.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe she's gone down that fast.
Yeah,
I can't
agree.
either.
Fine when she would talk to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is she permanently in a hospital?
Those
or-
of you who never met Donna, she was from Rushville, I believe, wasn't she, Tom?
Yeah,
A charming lady, just a real nice gal, tall and good looking. And they had a wonderful life together. They have 2 children, I believe. A girl and a boy who's down in the Air Force down in San Antonio, Texas.
Mhm.
And he flies unmanned drones that are nuclear capable.
Yeah, I think he
Oh,
mentioned.
my goodness.
Wow.
Is he a colonel now, Tom?
I think so.
I think he might have just been promoted to colonel.
Yeah, he's
Had second eye surgery, which is, 10 days later. Anyway, so, all this time, every time. we
Here's
go there
Rick.
for checkups,
Oh,
we
Rick.
have to go back a whole bunch of checkups.
We hear you, Rick.
And,
There's Rick.
we'd always get together, go out and eat, and
Turn him off.
well, he's talking to somebody about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Good.
65 years, Rick.
Turn it up, Rick.
I muted Rick for the time being until
So
he
he
gets off
figures
the
it
phone.
out.
Okay, that's good.
One thing that I did in terms of Donna, Last time I spoke to Rick, I asked, how Donna was doing, and he said, well, they hadn't figured it out, and it was progressing fairly rapidly. But he said, we just have a great time. It's unbelievable. He says, all we do is talk about things, and we just laugh, and we actually have a real good time together. She can't remember stuff, but other than that, she says she's real happy.
That's good.
And so it wasn't like it was. Of course, it was hard to tell with Dick, because I'm telling you, he was a very, very upbeat, positive guy, and it was hard to tell. But he seemed genuinely like he wasn't that concerned about it, at least right at that time when I was talking to him about Donna. The only time, all the times and I had been trying to call him every week because of all the different health issues he had been having. And one time I got on him when he didn't show up on this call, and he hadn't told me that he wasn't going to be on the call. And I said, hey, from now on, you let me know if you're not going to be on the call, otherwise I think something's wrong. So, and he faithfully did that after that. But when I talked to him about the bout with this pancreatitis, that was the first time that he ever kind of seemed down about it. He said, man, I just can't believe all these things are happening. He says, that was the only time that he ever seemed down. I said, hey, man, that pancreatitis, they figured it out. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But in fact, for Bob Van Pelt, it goes all the way back to right before he had his first back operation. He and I he had just found out, and he told me that Bob was in the nursing.
I just come here.
Yeah. And so he called me and he says, hey, Bob's over there. And he says, why don't we go over there? You mind coming over and picking me up, and we'll go over there. And so I set it on the calendar, and then I called him to, make the arrangements. And he says, oh man, he says, I had to go in the hospital, have a back operation.
Yeah.
And so that was like in November.
November last year when it time.
Yeah. And then something didn't go right with that back operation.
I think that's right, disc problem or something. Yeah.
And then he had to have a second one in January. Either they had to go back or something. And that's when it threw off the clot that caused his stroke. But so he really didn't have a stroke just like having a stroke. It was caused by an operation. Okay, so that was the first thing, was the stroke. And then after that, it seemed like one thing after another. Is Rick back on? Okay, Rick's on. Let's get Rick unmuted. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Hi. Hey, Rick.
There he is.
Hey, Rick.
After the surgery, he slipped and fell.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, he was going down some stairs, and they told him to walk with a cane. He hit his head, and he hit his shoulder. And, but, he was recovering. Dickie never a discouraging word.
Yeah.
Never heard. So I don't want to reiterate what you guys already talked about. I talked with Jim Weatherby. Of all people, he and Dick became very, very close friends.
Yeah, I agree with you, of all people.
Well, but I mean, they grew up close to one another there. And, I guess Lumpy went to Vail, and then Dick, when he got in junior high school, went to Hibbard, and they didn't live far apart. But
They lived on South 15th Street, right?
yeah. But over the last 10 years, I mean, Dick would tell me, and Jim, once a year, he'd call me.
Yeah.
About how close they were. They'd go back and forth, have dinner with Angie and Donna and Dr. I said, he knew more about Dick's life the last 2 years than I think anybody. And he was very close to this whole thing with Dick. And,
Rick, a lot of my information came from Sam, Jim's brother.
Yeah, Rick, if you could tell us what Jim said, because we're,
Well, I don't know where you are, but he had the back surgery in November of 19, slipped and fell, and then July, August, he had a stroke. He had speech impediment and so on, but it recovered most of all of it. And main thing he was pissed off about, he couldn't drive. He lost his license. Donna had to take him everywhere. So he went in for a checkup. This is after Donna fell, in the bathroom, broke her hip or whatever. So this would have been July or something. And
This year, right, yeah.
that's when he found out, they told him he had pancreatitis. And then he goes in, they said, no, you got a tumor. And then you got nothing. So you just got to change your drug. The drugs we've been giving you have caused your pancreas to jump up. And so and he said, man, I'm feeling good now. And then all of a sudden, after Donna fell, Terry said he was acting strange, let's say the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And took him to the hospital. Donna was there. He took x-rays. That's when they said he had a tumor. Then they told him, nah, it's just an inflammation.
Jeez.
And then told him that same thing. This is all in the last couple of weeks. And they told him that Donna had COVID, etc. That was 2 weeks ago. And then Jim called him. Donna was 4 doors down from Dick. And then they told him he had COVID. So they were hooking him up to an IV. Then Terry called and said Friday morning, yesterday, and said, Dick took a turn for the worse. He's in ICU, he's in a coma, non-responsive. Then about 2:30, Dick was now responsive. He came out of the coma. He couldn't talk, but he would acknowledge someone talking to him or touching him.
Right.
He was on oxygen, but he heard and he was responsive. Then at 4:30, he died. So that's one version of what happened the last weeks.
Wow.
Led up to it. I'm not a doctor. I wish somebody here was like Rick Jordan was there.
Yeah.
I think everything takes a toll. Accumulation of things. He has a back surgery.
Mhm.
Then he has a stroke. And then he has this, and then he has that, and it all builds up. And Dick was never ever negative. This is a time in our lives.
Yeah, we're not 25 anymore. That's for sure. Jeez.
So, Rick, you missed out on some funny stories that Bob told about when they were kids growing up. And if you can talk about it, you have any stories about you guys running around together?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I can't talk about.
Where do you begin, Rick?
I mean, you can talk about mixed company.
Well,
That's
we had fun in everything we did. Like I said, we went to junior high school together. We played all the sports, and I wanted to be a quarterback, but he beat me out. And we just did everything together. There was a whole group of us, including Bob, a little bit. He was always with Barbara. But it was called Dick Bird, Ritty, Diddy.
That's right.
TK, Cini. That was the gang. And it went on for a long time. Sometimes some of us would be missing from the gang. But he was dating, what's her name? Susie Thomas for a long time.
Susie Thomas.
Oh, that's right, he did.
South 9th Street, yeah.
And I may have
Rick,
been.
I've got Susie's information. I'll try to get a hold of her and let her know that Dick passed.
Well, she's gone. She died.
She's dead.
She
She
passed
died, that's
away.
right.
Wow. They'll see each other in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Just,
hope so.
once we go to college, I think we saw each other a couple times during the college years, and then when we went to med school, I'd drive over down to Indianapolis to see him. And we played golf. He came to Michigan and saw me, and we played some golf and had dinner, and I did the same thing. We'd go to Indianapolis. But, once you get out of high school and you move out of town,
Yeah.
I'm about ready to move back to Richmond because all my friends are there. The ones that are still alive.
The ones that are still alive.
But
I got a photo here I want to hold up, and I'm in it. I know that. Betsy's on the other side of you. Can't see her, but to the right center right beneath the chandelier, it looks like Huey. And Bob, could you identify if we were at your house?
Yeah, you often had holiday parties. We don't know if this was at one of those.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Hey, no laughing permitted.
That's been a while back, TK.
Does that look
What
like
else was it?
any
That
place
might
you
have been
live?
at my place. I'm not sure. either.
Yeah.
Dining room.
Yeah, I think that's,
Hey, Tom,
Yeah.
take a photo of that and then text it to me.
Okay,
I'll do that.
yeah. Well, you know, I was only at RHS for 2 years, so, you know, I didn't grow up. I'm reading Sandy, Dwayne's book, and I'm sure you helped with it a little bit, but all you guys in various sections of the town, city, sound like you had great experiences growing up, and then you met at high school on a daily basis, but so I missed out on a lot of this stuff, and I'm realizing by reading Dwayne's book how much I missed out on. So
I think most of us,
anybody wants to jump in and say and tell anything.
Hey, Tommy, most of us met at the ballpark,
yeah,
in baseball, little league or
Little League, Pony
whatever.
League.
So we
Okay.
met when we were 11, 12 years old,
That's where I met Sandy.
63 years ago, 64 years ago now. Unbelievable.
We just hung out. And for some reason, I grew up on the corner of South 9th and F Street.
Yeah, I remember.
I moved there when I was 5 years old and I was a midtermer. And I remember when I went to school the first day, it was snowing. And Mom said, bye. You know,
Get your butt
I'm
out of
going
here.
to school. And they're like most kids that are 5 years old or first grade, maybe it was first grade. You had those driveways were 45-degree angle to get up.
Yeah.
Up the pole. Well, I stepped up on one and had a little light coat of snow and it was ice underneath and I fell on my shoulder. I went to school and I was there all day and about 15 minutes before quitting time, I said, "Hey teacher, my shoulder hurts." And she looked at it and a bone sticking out. I had broke my collarbone. But I mean, I was supposed to be at school. Can you imagine the kids today? Older than me.
No.
Jeez.
No. I have a shoulder story. My little 2-year-old at the time broke his shoulder falling off a swing set. And I rubbed Bengay on it, didn't realize it was broken. Boy, putting Bengay on a broken bone just doesn't feel very good.
I don't imagine.
Either that too.
Can I ask, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Karen.
I wanted to ask Bob Van Pelt about the Sam and Jim Witherby.
Yeah,
Did their dad run the Coca-Cola plant?
their mother actually
Yeah,
owned a
my
Coca-Cola
uncle that
plant.
raised me worked for Coca-Cola for,
Yeah, Skip worked.
I'm sorry.
there, and so did Jim and Sam. Sam coached basketball at Newcastle after he graduated from Indiana State. And then about 3 years later, he joined the company business. But yeah, they had a Coke plant over on West Main Street.
Yeah.
They lived up on Reefson, not too far from us.
Mhm.
22nd one.
For years.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah.
Played a lot of basketball on their court too.
Yeah. But
cafeteria.
Jaden Witherby's dad was a guy named Mr. Martin, I believe. And Mr. Martin actually was in a bottling business before Coca-Cola. And then they had little Quaker bottles. I don't know if you guys remember those or not.
Yes, I remember.
Orange drink and cream soda and stuff like that. And then they got the Coca-Cola franchise and sold out to a guy out of Chicago, probably in the late 90s. But yeah, they had a wonderful career with that.
Hey,
Yeah,
Bob,
so my uncle that raised me, yeah.
Bob, I wanted to ask you something. I just got on. How are you feeling? Are you probably not 100% yet?
I'm
huh?
doing well, thank you, Shirley. I had about a 10-day bout with COVID.
Yeah.
I was never real sick had a fever about 99.3 or 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Loss of appetite, scratchy voice like everybody else.
yeah.
All that lasted about 5 days. And then I was better.
Wow.
And I was right on the bubble when they said that CDC said you could go 7 to 10 instead of 14.
Yeah.
I was on that unit for 10 days total.
How
They
many
came
people
down
were,
last Sunday and I was back.
how many people were affected there at your facility?
There were 47 was the cap.
Wow.
And that was a combination of about 30 patients and about 15 staff.
Wow.
Now we're down now to maybe 8, 9, 10, making a big comeback in time for the vaccine to come out.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Did they allow visitors? Do they allow visitors?
do what now?
Do they allow visitors there for you?
Not yet, no. We're a long way from that.
Okay, so they figure it came from the outside, probably the
Yes,
staff?
yeah, we were talking earlier, Shirley, if you go back through contact tracing,
Yeah.
even in a hospital, it's almost impossible
Mm.
because there are so many people in and out on shift changes,
Oh, yeah.
maintenance people, suppliers.
Right.
It's amazing. I mean, I probably have contact with 40 or 50 people a day right there at my doorway
Wow.
that come and go and that kind of stuff.
Was anyone hospitalized from your facility?
We had 3 people that passed away.
Oh.
All of them had pre-existing conditions. But yeah, so there were several that were hospitalized. Some of them are back now.
Bob, did they give you any treatment at all?
What was that again?
Did they give you any treatment for it?
No, I did not. No, I came back just about to where I am. You know, I was a long-term smoker, so my scratchy voice is probably due to Marlboro's Red and Lights. And that may not go away.
That's bad for you, Bob. It's bad for you.
Yeah, I remember that too, Kay.
Yeah, right.
Smoked larks, didn't you?
Larks.
Rub it in.
Remember Terry Hines, he smoked the larks.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Oh, yeah. Give me a lark.
Guys, I go back to Vale Elementary with, he was called Dickie Houston and Terry Hines, and they got into so much trouble
I don't believe that.
all the time. Tom, you remember, don't you? Don't you remember?
No, I don't.
Oh,
That's because his brother was getting in trouble all the time. He didn't know.
Oh,
Tom was working at Rolfie's.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's checking out the candy.
Eating pizza and drinking orange juice. I remember
That's
that.
good.
Oh.
Wow.
What a combination.
Yes, Nancy Beth. happy
Yes,
Happy birthday, Nancy.
thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
You know, a friend of mine just turned 87 yesterday.
Oh, really?
She said, this year has been so bad, and her youngest son just passed away. She says, this year has been so bad. I'm not even going to turn 87. I'm just going to stay 86.
Okay.
Next year I'll turn 87. I thought, what a great idea. So
Way
Uh-huh.
to say it.
hey, you're
The
just
whole year.
alive again, Nancy.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Nancy.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. That would probably be something we could pass on. Maybe the whole world would take that one.
Yeah.
I don't recall. See, I went to Hibbard, or excuse me, I went to Vale. I was a midtermer also.
Mhm.
So I went to Vale for maybe a year, and maybe something like that. I can't remember. I went to kindergarten and maybe a half semester of first grade. And then I was transferred to St. Mary's. So I don't remember a whole lot about that Vale. I remember kicking and screaming. I did not want to go. I remember that, and it was only a block and a half away. But it's like, I don't know. it's like all the rest of the kids, they were all excited about going. I'm thinking, boy, is this stupid? To do this when you could be out playing around and goofing off. But so I didn't really get to know Dick
Oh,
till, so then went to Tess. So I didn't get to know Dick really until high school.
Oh,
And
really?
mostly from football because he, of course, he ended up being our punter, and he was the second string quarterback behind Dick. Bird,
I don't know.
Yes, yeah, and a punter.
but he was a really good.
Rick kicked 7 points and Dick punted.
Yeah.
As I recall, anyway.
Yeah.
He was a track star and a basketball star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You, Tom.
And Tom, they had a real good mile relay team.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was Houston, Jordan,
Mater.
Mark
Do you know-
Mater, Jimmy Major.
Jim Majors was on it as well, yeah.
18.
Yeah, and I ended up having the fifth man on the mile relay team, and every damn time they'd make me practice that thing, I couldn't stand running the 440. And every time I did it, I would throw up.
You know, of all the great guys that were there at that time, Charlie Hilton was a great guy.
He was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I remember he and Dick being really good friends, Rick.
Yeah. Well, you know, Dick, he was a 100-yard dash and 220 guy, and then they needed somebody in the relays, and that son of a bitch could, I don't care what you're telling me, he'd run, and he ran that 40. I mean, he was up there with the fastest on that relay team.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah.
Long legs to get moved.
3:26.8, Rick. I remember their time.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, really, 3:26.8. It was really good in the state that time.
You got a memory like a steel trap.
Seriously.
Yeah. Spencer Gibbons threw the shot put 53-10 or 56-10.
Yeah.
I hesitate to bring this up, but I wasn't around, I think, when Dick's father, who was a principal at Dennis, is that true?
That's correct.
He was, yes,
Committed suicide?
yes, he did.
I do not remember what year that was. Do you guys remember, Rick?
No, but I picked him up that day. We were supposed to go out, and I pulled up in my car and picked him up, and he comes out, he was crying. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "My dad just killed himself."
Oh, my
Were we in high
word.
school then, Rick?
Huh?
Were we in high school then?
You know, I was trying to think of that the other day. I would assume, I don't know, because I didn't have a car for a long time.
Yeah.
I think his father had an illness, didn't he? And he didn't want to deal with the illness, and that's why he killed himself? I may not be remembering that correctly.
Well, that was it.
Is this correct, Rick? It was a misdiagnosis by a doctor.
Right.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
It was
thought
what?
he had
Anything wrong with it?
And he said to his family, or, you know, "I don't want my boys to see me in a bad condition." So he went in the backyard and put a pistol.
Oh, geez.
Oh, my word.
I remember him from Pony League, Babe Ruth League.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
On that, Arb, yeah.
He was
So
a
Rick-
genius. I got a ride every day. He'd come down southeast from Dick's house up on 15th, and I lived on, I'd walk up to E Street.
Yeah.
And invariably, Dick would have to tell him to stop. And coming home was the same way. "Hey, Dad, Rick lives 2 blocks back there." Dad was a very, very intelligent man. I mean, it was,
So Rick,
yeah,
Rick,
yes.
how did that affect him, or could you tell how it affected him when his father took his life?
You know, I don't think Dick ever mentioned it after that.
Wow.
I don't think so either, Rick. I never heard him mention it. Yeah.
Never.
Mhm.
So it affected him a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
talked
you're
about
right. You're right.
You're right, Judy.
You know, he and his mother were extremely close. I know that.
And then his mom remarried to a really nice guy named Bob Williams, wasn't it, Rick?
Moved up to off 27 there, whatever that's.
Crestdale, yeah.
Yeah, Crestdale.
Yeah, and they had a beautiful home up there when Crestdale was just being developed and had all of us out there like we were family. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob was a very kind guy.
These kids miss so much in today's society.
I know.
Even if
Yeah,
they
I
live
agree.
in a small town like Richmond, they don't, the goddamn iPhone, computer, games.
Zoom.
We'll leave Zoom out of it today, Rick.
Well, this is good for us, but thank God I didn't have TV, iPhone, a laptop, Google.
Yeah.
Say, Rick, I have another question. Where did they meet Donna? Where did he meet Donna?
He met Donna in college, I assume. You know, I never.
I think Dick.
Did she go to
I think
DePaul?
they met in the summertime.
Oh.
I think Dick may have done an internship down at Rushville.
Really?
Oh.
And she might have been there then.
Oh.
Because her family was a medical family, as I recall.
Okay.
I believe. I'm not sure.
A classmate, teammate of mine at Earlham, John Mosley, was from Rushville, and he knows Donna.
Donna's
Donna
family, yeah.
knows most Mosley's family. So next time I see John, or when I email him next, I'll try to
What a
answer.
good guy there, TK.
Yeah. I don't know what's happened with you and not a repeat. Yeah.
Dick's daughter had a nice thing written on Facebook about.
Yes.
him.
Really? Okay.
I think there were 3 children because the picture in Facebook showed 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl.
Right. And congratulations.
Yeah.
Wedding picture. Mhm.
Jeff, Tim, he controls drones over in the Middle East.
Oh.
And they couldn't clap when they were on duty about blowing the hell out of some terrorists, but
yeah,
they went off duty in the bar and talk about it. But and Jeff, I think, is he working in Chicago now?
Rick, what's her daughter's name?
Terry.
Terry.
Now, is she an Indy with 2 children?
At least 2.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I met she and her husband and her kids, all toe-headed. And that's where Dick and Donna were living because they sold their house. And
A month or 2 ago, yeah.
Does anybody have their address or her address, her daughter's address? You can send a card.
No.
I was going to call Terry today and get all the numbers for the kids. I think I have Jeff's because he and I were talking about some business deal one time. And I want, is Phil still alive, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Is that his brother?
When I
Coach
couldn't find
Peters was-
Dick, when I couldn't find Dick going through life, you know, he'd move. He practiced medicine all over the goddamn place, and he'd get tired of a place in 3 years and move. He was in Rockford, moved here and there, but I always called Phil. Stayed in touch with Phil. Where's Dick living now? You know, and so I'll get all this information out. I'll send it to
Dwayne. If you send it to me, then I can send it to everybody else, Rick.
Yeah. It should get done.
Thanks, Rick.
So Rick, Phil is his older brother?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's that saying?
Phil is in Columbus.
Superintendent of schools at Columbus East, Tom.
Yeah.
He was.
Retired recently, yeah. Couple years.
Columbus, Indiana or Columbus, Ohio?
Indiana.
Indiana, Columbus East High School.
Okay.
In fact, he offered both Dwayne and I a job, our first job. Years ago. At Brookville.
Years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
John, Phil used to drive to Richmond to have coffee at McDonald's every Saturday morning. A bunch of guys he went to high school with. Sandy, I don't know if you guys knew that or not. But you had to go to West Side McDonald's every Saturday.
How much older was he, or is he? Was he?
I want to say 5.
Okay.
4
I
or
was
5.
telling, as you know, I have a phone call with John Bryant every Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was telling John knows about this Zoom call, all you guys. I was telling him about it, and he hated to hear that. He didn't know Dick real well, but he knew Phil. And he said Phil used to come down to the Y, and that they had their lockers were right next to each other. And John was always down there to play handball or racquetball. but he said Phil would be there every day, 5 days a week, to work out.
Now, Phil was a pretty good basketball player back in, I want to say, Tom, that was 57 or 8.
That sounds right.
With one of the Wright guys, Charlie Wright's brothers, and Marshall Moore, and a guy named Larry Manlove.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember who else, but they were decent back in the Art Beckner days.
Oh, yeah. Hitchcock was great.
Yeah, maybe Tom, yeah, maybe. Or Terry, one of them.
Yeah.
Terry was a big, bulk, heavy, I mean, not heavy, but well-built, larger guy.
Yeah, Terry was. Larry was a little leaner, yeah.
I think Larry went to the Citadel.
I think you're right.
You're right.
Well, I wanted to spend all the time we could, you know, just to tell stories about Dick and reminisce. It was a real shocker because, you know, the last time I had spoken with him, it was like he was kind of thrilled that, you know, they made him, for a long time, they made him think that he had pancreatic cancer instead of just pancreatitis. I don't know what kind of doctors he was going to, but anyway, so he was happy about that. And that was, you know, of course, you know, the thing with Donna, but, and this was a shocker. You know, it's like every time I turn around, if I didn't stay in touch with him every week, the next thing whenever I would talk to him, he'd say, well, I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
About something.
As a patient.
Yeah, as a patient, it's like, man.
You know, my brother had pancreatitis and he thought he was going to die. He was that sick. So that is in itself, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, did he have pancreatitis, Tom, or no?
Yeah.
He did have it.
He did.
And was that what led to the diabetes?
It was caused by some sort of new
Side effect.
medicine for diabetes. He was taking where he only got a shot a week instead of giving himself insulin every day.
Oh, a new medicine?
Yeah, I guess. I'd never heard of a 1 week shot. But anyway, so it was a side effect from that.
Oh.
No, I have heard of a 1 week shot for diabetes. My son takes that. Yeah.
So I don't know how long Dick had been on that.
I don't think that.
I will say this, from the times that Jane Ann and I went out to dinner with them, he told, one of the first times we went out to dinner with him, he told us, you know, we were just like, hey, bring us up to, like, what you guys been doing all your lives and everything else. And so somehow he came around and he told us that he had diabetes, but, and that might've been in the first part of our, you know, dinner.
Yeah, before we even had food.
But then he had a real nice big cocktail. And of course, you know,
and
alcohol.
He had wine.
And then, and he had wine. And then he had this big dessert. And I'm thinking, man, how the heck?
He's a doctor.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, I've got one more story I need to share with you guys.
Well, I want to hear as many as we can get, man.
Well,
There's got to be more
I got one I can't share, but one I will share. My stepdaughter was a pretty good athlete, Laura's daughter, playing volleyball at Richmond High School. She developed all kinds of intestinal problems.
Oh.
Now we have two 15-inch medicine cabinets full of medicine, about that deep, and nothing's working. So I'm working, after I retired at State Hospital on the food service department, I'm going to work about 4:30 in the morning in the wintertime, snow and ice and all kinds of crap. I'm worried about who's going to show up. And I smacked myself in the head just like that. And I said, damn you, you know a guy that does this gastroenterological stuff.
Yeah.
What the hell have you been thinking about?
Yeah.
So I get to work, get everything going. Shift comes to end. I call Miami Valley Hospital. Dr. Houston there. No, sir, may I ask who's calling? So I tell the guy the story. High school teammate, stepdaughter's ill, like to talk to Dick, when he's finished with his procedure. She says, if you wait and call him back at 6 o'clock, he'll be finished and we can talk, or I'll have him talk. So sure as hell, clockwork wise, phone rings 6 p.m. So I tell Dick the story. He had moved down there from Michigan. And he said, I really can't cross state lines with my license the way it is now. I'm Michigan and Ohio, not Indiana. But I want you to go home and you and your wife get on an extension phone and I'll tell you exactly what I want done. So sure as the world, I go home, we get on extension phones. He said, I want you to take your stepdaughter to St. Vincent's Hospital now and wait in the waiting room until they admit you.
Ow.
I said, Dick, it's Friday night. I'm not sure anybody's going to be excited about that. He said, damn, you do what I tell you to do.
Hey.
And Moore went over, took my stepdaughter with a bag. He wanted us to see a friend of his named Dr. Patel. I don't remember his first name, but a renowned gastroenterologist over there. And so they did that. Well, a series of tests and all kinds of stuff. On the following Tuesday, she had surgery and they put together her large intestine and her small intestine and probably saved her life.
Wow.
She was going to die if it ruptured. So you can imagine what it's like for me to have to tell them about him passing away.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna share a good one. Now you girls have to behave during this. I'm gonna share this for everybody have a good laugh. Dick goes to medical school. I'm at IU living in the dorm. And I don't know if you remember dorm life at all, but you had a central location for post office box. And if you had a package, you had a pink slip in your mailbox to pick up the package.
Yep.
Well, I get a pink slip, boys and girls around. Let's see what you got. Come on. Wait a minute. I'm not sure where this came from. It had a very distinct smell of formaldehyde. So Dick had been working on cadavers in Indianapolis. So I take this box to my dorm room and open it up.
Yeah.
And he could have spent his life in federal prison because what he had done was removed a male penis.
Oh, geez.
To me in my dorm room. Now I took it promptly to the incinerator and burned it. And we always said we'd never tell that story until somebody passed away. So I guess I was surprised. Dick Houston, my buddy.
You might be smiling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, right now.
He's with us, Tom. I know he is. Probably laughing his butt off too.
God.
Thanks, Bob.
If you didn't know Dick real well, you would think he'd be maybe kind of a serious guy, but man, he was a real jokester.
Apparently.
Rick summed it up real well. He had a dry sense of humor and he could stab you with it. Sometimes we in the car messing around and he'd just turn around and come up with something. You go, wow, where'd that come from? But a good, great guy, great human being.
Well, I'll tell you, this was until you told the story today. I didn't realize that it was COVID connected. I was wondering at the time because the last thing I had heard was, the whole thing about he was acting kind of funny and then he was having slurred speech and then he kind of passed out and everything else. And I was thinking, well, maybe it had something to do with where they'd taken him off that diabetic medicine. Because I've got a real close friend who's a diabetic and he's several times he's, kind of passed out and gone into a coma because of having low blood sugar.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe it was that, but man, this thing, the fact that it got COVID got him, man, that's really bad.
And so close to a vaccine as well was
Yeah.
Heartbreaking to me.
Yeah. yeah. Tom, we think here we may be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as far as the patients here.
Mhm.
Now, we're going to be administered by CVS pharmacies.
Yep.
Yeah.
CVS and Walgreens going to do it nationwide. Maybe
Read about
I'm not sure. But then here, our staff people will go to Reed Hospital. And then 3 months after that, there's a booster that comes in play as needed, I believe.
That was 3 weeks.
I'm
It
sorry,
is.
it is 3 weeks, Karen. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if you have allergies, you should think twice about
Right.
taking it.
Yeah, resistant things that they're a little leery of, I think.
So you and I, Judy, may have to wait forever till the end of the.
I'm going to talk to my
In all
doc on
likelihood-
Monday.
In all
Yeah.
likelihood,
See what he
healthy
says.
people will be January or February. It's kind of what I'm hearing out here.
We had a
As,
trip,
as needed if you want it, yeah.
we had a trip scheduled to go to St. Croix, but I think tomorrow we're going to call and
Yeah.
ask them if they'll let us apply our money to next year. I just don't think we'll get it by February.
Yeah, what is the
Oh.
CDC said, don't go to St. Croix.
Right now, they said, don't go there.
Yeah, so.
So,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
out
don't
here,
take the
you know,
chance.
They're saying that even though we get vaccinated, it'll be summer before we are really safe to
Yes.
be out because of the
Right.
time for the second vaccine, and then everybody doesn't have one, and
Still
so
need mass social distancing and all those things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said you could still get it. It's like the flu shot. It just wouldn't be as bad if you did get it. But so we
Right.
can still get it with the vaccine.
Yeah.
But-
Have you guys read about the storage on this vaccine?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
God,
Wow.
94 below zero.
Pfizer.
They open the coolers, they're allowed to be open for 3 minutes. Then they got to close them back up.
Yeah.
It's a good time to have a dry ice company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be for sure one.
well, so Jim Holt's been sitting there. He hasn't said a word, and
Yeah.
and
You all right?
He's a good
I
listener.
thought
He's
eventually
a
we'd
good
give it-
listener.
yeah, we would give him an opportunity to rub it in because
He's in
I think
Hawaii.
he's sitting in Maui.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Dude.
Yes, I am in an empty house.
oh.
Oh.
You have a new house there, right? Is that right?
Pardon?
You have a new house there, is that right? Or
Yeah.
am I?
Took us years to find one. But yeah, and then we made an offer. It was accepted, I think, on March 22nd.
Seems like a long time ago.
Good
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah, good timing. And we had hoped to come back and put furniture in it and things like that, but now we're doing that right now.
Is the dog there?
Is it what? It is in the low 80s during the day.
No, is the dog there? Don't you have a dog? You had to get a dog there or
Yeah, the
something?
dog's here. She's here.
Cool. Okay.
Did you have any trouble, Jim, moving from the mainland to Hawaii? I mean, did they give you, I meant because of the virus, like, did you have any struggle getting into Hawaii? No, it
Well, I'll
sounds
tell
silly.
you,
I mean, mostly because it's an island.
Yeah, you go through a COVID test. That's
It might have been doing it until you mainland fella.
well, you go through you get your COVID test, approved facility on stateside within 72 hours of your trip. So we went and because of where we are in a remote spot, we had to go 2 hour about 2 hour round trip down to Wenatchee. We took the test at Walgreens and then went back, got ready to travel. And Carol was the first one to get her results negative, but they missed the date, or no, the time of day, since we timed it to be like 71.5 hours before. The time of day, we had a noontime appointment. And when the test came back, it said that we took it at 12 a.m.
Oh.
So that would have put us over the 72 hours. And so we've, tried to call Walgreens. We called the lab. Nobody,
Nobody cared.
well, they cared, but they didn't care enough.
Okay.
Finally, I think it came down to, I think people have a misunderstanding generally of AM and PM with 12 o'clock.
Yes.
So somebody sees 12 o'clock, they interpret it as, I don't know what, but they did not interpret it at midnight. So we figured, okay, so we'll go to the airport. So, we both got negative results. I had the same problem. Went to the airport and said, we're just going to do all our preliminary stuff. Because you got to fill out a health questionnaire. You have to get a code that you show at the airport. And luck have it, Alaska had a flight, the one that we happened to be on, that was piloting a new program where if you were qualified in a screening at the airport in Seattle from where we flew, then they gave you a blue band, green. But it was a pilot program, and if you got the blue band, you didn't have to do anything on the Maui side.
Yeah.
You basically got off the plane, went straight to the curb. And other people had to go through 2 or 3 hour screenings once they got off the plane. So we looked out there, but when we went through the screening in Seattle, we were waiting for the person who was checking. We didn't say anything about the time. And so the person evidently, again, probably didn't recognize 12 a.m. over the line. So he gave us a blue band and off we went. That was it. Yeah.
Got lucky.
We got lucky.
Yeah.
And then we got here and, we've had, because of, we've been pre-ordering stuff and Amazon is delivering things on a daily basis almost. So we have no beds right now. We had a Murphy bed in one room. And that's where I've been sleeping. Carol had an inflatable. She put it on the floor and she's sleeping there. And Penny is on her little carpet. And our dog.
Yeah.
And so we're just kind of camping out right now, and day by day we'll have a bed, a mattress.
How long are you there for, Jim?
Huh?
How long are you there for?
It'll probably end of March. Next year we're coming in October.
Yeah.
We went through what we went through in Winthrop. It was just, ice fog. We left in ice fog. And we were happy to get away from it. So this is better.
Like U-Haul, Adventures in Moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where in
not-
Maui are you, Jim?
Huh?
Where in Maui?
Makawao, Pukalani, up country. You know where either Pukalani, Kula area.
I know where Hawaii is, and that's it.
So we got visitors coming already. Of course, my son and his wife and our new grandchild are coming in January.
Good.
And, so we're going to have people in and out.
Well, Jim, I don't think you were on last week, but everybody decided that the next reunion is going to be at your place.
That's right.
You get those beds lined up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Diane can arrange all the lodging.
We'll just order our beds from Amazon before we get there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they'll be delivered.
I gotta escape from
We're
here.
going to a dormitory.
Yeah.
Sleeping bags.
Tents in the backyard.
There you go.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if you probably can't see anything. Next time I'm going to try and be outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, and we'll have the bird feeder full of seed and you can watch all the birds run around.
So Jim, when I spoke with you before you left, you said that you'd been having, because you had rented this while you were not there, correct? You'd been renting it? And then you were having issues with the renters?
Yeah.
All your neighbors were complaining. What all happened? And
Oh, they're very strict HOAs here. Homeowners Association. I think you must have somebody going up and down the streets every day. Marking off, okay, they left their garbage can out. There's some unauthorized thing parked in the yard. Then they threaten you with a fine. We never lived where we had HOA. We always lived on gravel roads. So we're kind of getting used to that, but we had a person coming down the street. Carol was out walking Penny. And Penny sees the person with a dog, and of course Penny runs over to say hi to the dog. And she says, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. I said, do you guys you need anything? We need everything. So she says, well, I got a bunch of things. I know what you're going through. And I got some extras. You can, I'll bring you some stuff. And we sort of said, okay, yeah, boy, that's really nice. So yesterday afternoon, I got a knock on the door. And here she is at the door with 2 grocery sacks full of utensils, glasses,
Nice.
dishes.
Oh, nice.
So, that's, I guess, the aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, that's-
A good start, yeah.
yeah. So we've had a good start.
oh, good. That's good. Well, it sounds like it if you got 82-degree weather.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But all you guys missed my birthday.
What?
Sure.
I didn't miss your birthday. I sent you a message.
I didn't miss it.
When was your birthday?
It's the 3rd.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy belated.
Yeah.
Happy belated.
Anniversary, the 3rd.
I
Are you
think
76 now?
everybody's gotten younger.
Wait a minute, I can't read lips. Whose birthday's the 3rd?
Fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rick's into getting everybody's birthday down.
Ah.
Mine was the 5th, Jim.
That's right. Yeah.
Whose was the 5th?
Rick?
Well,
Ricky's was the 5th.
Rick.
Well,
Yeah, this really turned 75.
yeah, baby.
No, he's not. Nancy's not. Oh, no, she's older.
No, Nancy.
Oh, she's
Never mind.
76.
All right.
I'm the old lady.
Well, Dick Houston just had a birthday,
yeah.
didn't he?
Rick
I think-
was the oldest guy in that group of people. And Bob Van Pelt was the youngest. Really did he
What's that?
PK, Huey.
But I was a year ahead, Hewitt,
I didn't
Rick?
count you. You came from Centerville.
That didn't count, right?
You were one of the bunch. What you got over there?
By the way, on the subject of Dick Houston.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't, just like Tommy, I didn't know him until high school. And, but, you know, 10th grade football, track for 3 years. You know, he was one of the nicest. He was, you know, just really soft-spoken, not out there, you know. But you guys, of course, saw the other side of it. But still, he was a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Agree with Bob. We lost a good one.
By acclamation.
Yeah, one of the best.
Yeah.
Before we go, Susie, now all of the girls may already know, but we would like to know how the wedding was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was cold. It was really cold, but it was nice.
Good.
Yeah, very nice. Lovely. Very simple. Nice.
Good,
Good.
good. Yeah, because the weather ended up turning a little bit colder and not
Yeah.
as pleasant as they originally predicted, did it?
Yeah, it was cold, but
It was outside, right, Susie?
it was outside. Yeah.
Great.
What time of day?
It was at 4:30.
Is that AM or PM?
3 p.m. Tom.
See, it's not dark then?
Yeah.
It's not dark out there at 4:30?
No, it
No.
really wasn't dark yet. It
Not till 5:30.
yeah, probably
Really?
fine.
Okay.
See, at 16:30, then there's no mistaking. what-
That's
Oh, military.
military
Zero,
time.
4:30, 16:30.
There you go. Yeah, there's something good
I mean,
about
I still use that. 'Cause I get confused on
I do too.
daytime or nighttime.
Well, my brother Steve, he can't ever get standard time and daylight savings time straight.
Yeah,
He can't get that
he doesn't
figured out.
understand it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I should have told everybody ahead of time, we should have all had a glass of wine so we could have raised a glass of wine to Dick.
Aw.
That would have been nice.
Got one.
Yes.
Want to come and say hi?
Next one. Next Zoom.
Yeah.
Just
we
pop
could-
your head in and say hi.
Always next time.
Yeah.
We hope.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope.
Yes, we.
Diane, will I be putting you on the spot to just say a
No.
little prayer for us at the end here? Because we're about at
Wait a minute.
4:20.
Jack wants to say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Okay, Dash. Wow.
How are we doing?
We're doing all right.
Yeah,
Good.
great.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hanging in
Stay
there.
healthy.
Yeah.
Too, Jack.
And Carol, we're glad he let you be on this time. He must be working you to death.
Oh, yeah. He's working, period.
Oh, okay. So again, Diane, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Okay, now I'm not.
There you go.
Is he there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm muted. Okay, now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Holy One, we come to you today with hearts that are filled with memories and sadness at the loss of our good friend Dick Houston. We ask that you receive him and hold him close in your arms. Give comfort to those who grieve him and will always miss him. Be with Donna, be with the rest of the family. Take care of them, hold them close. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Diane.
Thank you,
I had to have Diane to do that.
That was
Very
nice.
much.
Very nice.
Well, you guys, Rick, if you can get that information for us, I'll put it out to everybody so all of us can send a card or something.
Yeah.
Will do. I got
Okay.
Terry's phone number, so I can, Jim just sent it to me, so.
Okay. All righty, you guys. Well, we'll see you next week. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Be safe, everybody.
Yeah, stay safe.
Stay safe.
Yeah, everyone stay safe.
Yeah.
See you, Rick.
Have some wine, Nancy.
See.
No,
Oh, she left. Oh.
All
the
right.
entire thing was stories about Dick Houston, which was nice. Nancy,
Hey, Tom,
Yeah.
no,
let's talk a minute
they,
after
Okay.
everybody's off.
I guess they're still on here.
Yeah, I won't get off until, because if I end it for everybody. It'll cut everybody off. So you guys got to end it.
Oh, I sent you that email, Tom, with the picture.
If Phil does what?
Hear that,
Hey.
Tom?
Hey, Jack wanted to know if Phil played for Notre Dame football,
Oh, no.
Dick's brother.
Not that I know.
No, no.
No. Tom, TP, did you hear what Betsy said?
I sent you that picture via email, Tom.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Appreciate it.
So you
Hey,
got
Tom,
you
we'll talk to you
Hey,
later.
Tom, maybe we could do the Beatles.
some late, much later,
Oh,
Tom.
yeah, I've got it down. Yeah, I always write down all these things. I'll remember it. I've got it
Oh.
right here.
Okay.
Right here.
There's,
Whenever-
let's see, where's Betsy? Betsy's on there
TK.
somewhere.
There it is.
Betsy, Beatles.
Yes,
TK,
yes, Rick.
What's
You
that?
got my phone number. Can you send me your new info? I still have you in Atlanta.
Okay,
Yeah, we've been three places since then.
we've been on food, man.
Where are you now?
Wisconsin.
Oh, you were in
Northern-
Chicago for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
We on move, Rick. Come on, man. We might see Jim pretty soon.
Hey, Tommy, I'll call you later.
Okay.
All righty. So see ya.
Hey,
All
guys.
right.
Love y'all.
Okay, see you, Rick.
Yeah,
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
See you, Rick.
See you, Rick.
Tough, man. It's tough.
Tommy.
Yeah, it's really tough. Man,
Man.
yeah. Bye, Shirley.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn this puppy off.
No problem. Hey, congratulations. They went ahead and got your Ohio State.
I know. I was trying to be humble.
I was surprised that some IU, like, I'm surprised. Well, I think Bob was he wasn't thinking about IU today.
Oh, I know. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. But
Yeah,
anyway,
you know what? You can turn me off because I'm having trouble turning this thing off. So
okay, no problem. Well, good to see you.
yeah,
And we'll see you next week.
I hope so. If I'm busy with my little grandson, I just can't get on.
Oh,
So-
you did, by the way, you did surprise me. So do you remember us all being at Vail together?
Yeah. I remember Vale better than I remember a lot of things. Yeah.
Were you there at the old Vail before they built the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Do you remember that teacher's name we had in kindergarten?
No. I wasn't at Vale. I was over at that other Garfield, and then we came to Vale.
Oh, maybe that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking that Vail, the old Vail looked a lot like Garfield.
Oh, yeah.
And then they tore it down and built the new Vail.
Yeah. I went through second grade in Indiana, and then I went to Garfield third grade, and then I ended up at Vale, I think fourth grade or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't there then.
Yeah.
By that time I was at St. Mary's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you having good weather out there?
Well, actually, some days, yeah, it's sunny right now, and it's pretty out. I'm getting ready to go shopping. I still go to the pool 3 times a day. Yeah, or 3 times a week.
Great.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's
But I don't know why I can't turn this thing off, Tom. But I'm not that good at this stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, all you got to do then is just X out at the very top, and I'll go ahead and end it.
I can't even find the darn X right now. But
Okay.
anyway,
Well,
whatever.
I'm going to sign off then,
Okay.
but I'll see you next week now.
Hope so. Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.